WBUR Podcasts, Boston.
I'm Daryl C. Murphy, and you're listening to The Common. Today, I'm talking with Kai Grant, co-founder of Black Market Nubian. It's an organization that hosts a marketplace for small local businesses of color in the area. And they're closing out their 5-year run of markets with their annual holiday market that's happening throughout December. Kai, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
So Kai, you've been doing Black Market for 5 years now, since 2017. And, you also do a winter market. For someone who hasn't been there, can you tell me about what's it like to visit this winter market? What am I going to see?
It's an amazing sight to see. And so you're going to come in to music, and it'll be music that's played live with a DJ. It's going to be all types of different Christmas music. You'll hear, some Nat King Cole. You'll hear some Jackson 5, but you'll also hear some Boyz II Men. And it's not always Christmas music because we always recognize the fact that there are so many folks that come from different backgrounds that we want to make sure that no one's pigeonholed into thinking that this is just for one holiday. And so when you open those doors and you walk in, it becomes a magical space that is literally filled with different artisans that have products, some of which are procured and brought over from different countries. There'll be tables and tables and tables, typically up to 30 small businesses that have, hot cocoa that has a base of sea moss. And then you'll see another vendor that is a local author that, has a series of different books. You're going to look to your left and you'll see a jewelry maker. You'll see another vendor that is selling vintage records. It's just like a medley and a different atmosphere that you will not see anywhere else in the city of Boston.
So Kai, I understand you started back in 2017. Can you give me the background to how the market got started?
Absolutely, Daryl. Our marketplace came off the heels of a transformative trip to Egypt in 2016 in October. And we came back impregnated with this concept and idea that had not yet been formed, but understood that we needed to do something and we needed to be the change that we wanted to see inside of our community and specifically inside of our commercial district, which was once named Dudley Square and is now Nubian Square. We also had the knowledge that our anchor business, A Nubian Notion, was closing its doors. And we knew that there was going to be a gap that needed to be filled for our community members and for all of those who have been super dependent upon that particular business being the space where we felt the most safe inside of our community, and a space that sold goods that had some type of connection to our own culture. With this knowledge that our anchor business, A Nubian Notion, was closing its doors, we started to look around Dudley Square and identify spaces where we could do something. And one of our thoughts was, maybe we'll do a cooperative here inside of Dudley Square that mimicked and mirrored something that was on the continent, where these vendors and, artisans were doing what they do all over the world, which is create community. And we had the skill set as entrepreneurs, and I had the skill set of retail management. And, we hit the ground running in March 2017. Now we are reinventing into something fabulous and something new.
So that's the holiday market. Tell me about the vendors you're most excited about this year.
Well, our holiday market cycles at least 50 to 60 different businesses because it's multiple dates. However, it just really makes my heart swell when I think about Nissi Naturals, which is an artisanal soap brand. They come in from Rhode Island every week and pop up with us. And their products are they're like cult items. Like people can't get enough, whether it's their shampoos, whether it's their soaps, whether it's their moisturizers. They're all handmade. They use a lot of ingredients from their country of origin, which is Uganda. The founder of the business just got his doctor's degree and he's a scientist. And him, his wife, and their 2 kids literally have been with us since day one.
Okay. And you were about to tell me about the other one, another brand?
Yeah. So it's interesting because we have had these 2 dynamic twins inside of our business, and together they kind of form one business, even though they're separate entities. They're always partnered, and their business, one of them is called La Boutique Monique, and the other one is One Dope Queen by Anisha. And together they kind of set up their whole format, and they have an in-store boutique. One sells handcrafted jewelry and the other has different types of flair and shirts and sweatshirts and mugs and keychains, all with positive statements on it. And so they're amazing because they started with us and they have now become contract manufacturers for other small businesses. And we can, find some of their products downtown in the Greater Boston Convention Center in Visitor Bureau's store. There are so many of those type of stories. And it's wonderful for Black Market to be a part of their journey.
And so the holiday market is the last of the signature marketplaces. Can you talk about why that is and what you have planned for the future?
Yes, thank you for asking. We have been fortunate enough to witness over 100 marketplaces. We've produced over 100 of them. We've had over 1,000 small businesses cycle through our marketplaces. But this has been a labor of love that myself and my co-founder and husband, Christopher Martin Grant, we've done this as a statement. And Black Market has been that space to help incubate and help people to find their way in terms of their brand and what their brand identity is. It's been 5 years. We think that it's now time to transform into something that could bring greater stability and also build greater capacity for the businesses. But I think it's important to say that we have to do the same thing for ourselves. And so we're in a position right now because of a lease that we have through Madison Park Development Corporation, who owns the building. We have a lease to not just rent, but a lease to own. And we're looking to purchase that building. And that way we can become more and more rooted as a young institution and see that Black Market itself is not displaced.
We'll be back with more from Kai after a quick break.
Did you kill Marlene Johnson?
I think you're one of the first people to have actually asked.
From WBUR and ZSP Media, this is Beyond All Repair, a new podcast about an unsolved murder that will leave you questioning everything.
Somebody should be in jail for murdering my sister.
A woman who's never been believed.
As long as they think I have done this, then they're not looking for who actually did this.
And that's what makes it a cold case.
No, it's a botched case.
And a search for the truth, once and for all.
Wow, it just gets more interesting.
Beyond All Repair. Listen and follow wherever you get your podcasts.
Be careful. You're digging in a place that's been very peaceful for a while.
Do it anyway. Dig.
Okay, we're back. Before the break, we were talking with Kai about rooting Black Market Nubian in its own building, and it reminded me of a conversation I had a little while ago. If you're Black, right, and you're trying to put together an event, I was told that it's kind of hard to find spaces to do that if it's an event for us, by us, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? It's harder to get people on board. It gets kind of tough because we don't have control of these spaces, and it seems like you're addressing that problem.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. We need to own. We're never going to be in a position where you can close a $250,000 wealth gap if you do not own property, if you do not own spaces, if we're always looking to go into someone else's space to rent so that we can throw a party or we can throw a networking event. You know, I remember, I'm old enough to understand it from a perspective where as a kid in the 70s, as a teen in the 80s, I know what the social scene looked like in the city of Boston. I remember when we had Black radio stations. I remember when we had Black-owned businesses and taverns and watering holes where New Edition could pop up and do a talent show. I remember those days, and though that well has dried up, we have to be intentional, just as intentional. And when I say we, I'm talking about folks and institutions and organizations and, even municipalities that were a part of the 50 to 70 years of disinvestment inside of Roxbury. When Roxbury turned Black and brown, that's when folks left. Banks would not lend to us. Institutions would not come inside of this space. We were left in desolate positions where we had to come together, which is not a bad thing. What I seen as a young woman was I seen people that had to depend on each other and people that came together in order to provide a cooperative opportunity to purchase things. We're in a position right now where we have trillions and trillions and trillions in dollars worth of aggregate wealth, but we're still behind generations in terms of wealth creation. So we've got to think about strategic ways that we can break the socioeconomic ceiling.
Hey, what you're saying here makes total sense and definitely puts into focus the larger importance of Black market beyond just a marketplace. But you really are zeroing in on this idea of space as, again, that word incubator, right? Is an incubator for a community for so many things. If people want to check out the holiday market and kind of get a sense of what it's like to shop at Black Market Nubian while they still can, where can they find you? Tell me the dates, etc.
Wonderful. I hope and pray that everybody brings their family, their friends, and tells somebody about our final days of our marketplace. December the 10th from 1 to 5, December the 17th from 1 to 5, December the 24th from 1 to 5. And Black Market Nubian is located at 2136 Washington Street in Roxbury, Mass. 02119 in lovely Nubian Square.
Well, Kai, thanks so much for coming by and talking with us. This has been super fascinating, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye out. Thank you so much for this.
Oh, you're welcome. It's my pleasure.
That's Kai Grant, co-founder of Black Market Nubian. And that's our show for today. Make sure to hit us up on Twitter at WBURTheCommon or shoot us an email at thecommon@wbur.org. We'd really love to hear from you. In the meantime, I'm Daryl C. Murphy, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.